What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics here. Talking PSA data today. I know it's been a lot of grading talk lately, but end of the month, and our boy Gem Rate over on the old Instagrams, who's been doing a fantastic job of capturing all this PSA data, has put up a September recap. So it's October 2nd. I figured it'd be a good time to dive in. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out Gem Rate on IG. I'll link to his Instagram and his blog in the comment or in the description of this video down below. So, you know, there's, I said this at the beginning of the HGA video the other day when I did the live recap. This is one of those things. The people that really like PSA are gonna spin this one way, just like anything, really. I mean, to be honest with you. The people that don't like PSA are going to spin this a different way. We'll get into it in a second. Very quickly, actually. One, they are grading. September was an all-time high. Up 24% versus August. And eclipsed any other month ever. It's their biggest month ever for grading cards. They graded 830,000 cards. Gem rates have seen meaningful improvement, which means the amount of PSA 10s are going up. Baseball and trading cards saw the largest increase. In 2019, Prism Basketball is closing in on 500,000 grades all time. That is a lot of slabs of 2019 Prism Basketball. All right, let me do a couple takeaways right from here. Right off the get, this is where people are going to, you know, suit up and go to war with data. Pro PSA people are going to say, you guys begged him to expand. You said you guys got to grade cards faster. You got to get the stuff out the door. What are you doing? Hire people, expand. You guys are dropping the ball. They hired people. They expanded. Their output is through the roof. Pro PSA people are going to say, see what we've did here. Anti-PSA people are going to say, look how many cards they're cranking out. Gem rates up. 30 seconds of cards, slap a 10 on everything. So, I just have the numbers in front of me. I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. Pro PSA people are going to say, they're cranking them out. Good job, Nat Turner. You fulfilling your promise of turning these cards around. Trying to turn around these cards quickly. The anti-PSA people are going to be like, see? 10 on everything. Off center, doesn't matter. 10. Soft corner, doesn't matter. 10. It is what it is. It's literally a no-win situation. No-win situation. I can already see the comments down below on both sides of the fence. My other big takeaway. This Prism Basketball number is insane. And I think this goes back to, and we're going to see some other numbers here in a minute, on how much stuff post-2010 is being graded. And I think this is a direct reflection of the basketball video I did the other day. The base market has hardly moved at all on the players that we looked at in that video. Silvers, hollows, etc. That stuff's going up. Why? Because there is a ton of base, my theory is anyway, is that there is way more base supply hitting the market. So even if demand does increase, the supply has been there to match it. Silvers and hollows, my speculation has always been most of that stuff has probably been graded already, because if you pull a silver Zion, a silver Ja, a silver Luka, you're not messing around and sending that stuff in value subs. You would have sent that stuff in Express, Super Express, or whatever. You almost have to, just based off the declared value alone. Most of that stuff is back in hand. Are people still ripping 2018 Prism? Yes. 2018 Optic? Yes. 2019? Yes. But the amount of Prisms, Silvers, Hollows, whatever, that's coming out of that stuff, it's not that much. I really don't think it's that much stuff sitting in the backlog. I really don't. Now, base cards, on the other hand, whole different story. And also, when they're talking about 500,000 grades all time in Prism, don't forget, a lot of this stuff, and we don't know the numbers. A lot of this stuff is the junky, like most of that stuff is probably straight junk. Jordan Poole PSA 10 base Prisms. You know, that sort of not. Sekou Demboya PSA 10 base prism. You know that stuff is in there, and by the handfuls. So, you know, it is what it is. Here's the chart down here. You can see the big dip in July and August. This matched or eclipsed their previous high in June. My personal guess on why this happened is, 1, late summer, July, August. 1, high vacation month. 2, they sent a ton of people to the National. That had to impact their overall grading output. 3, there were some rumors and speculations that maybe you send a bunch of people to a large convention during a pandemic, things happen. And maybe some of that nonsense got back in the building again. I have no confirmation on that, but there's been rumors swirling about that. There was a little bout of the pandemic post the National, so I could see that too. Regardless, to me, it makes sense why it dipped off in the late summer there. You have vacations, the National, all that stuff going on. And now we are beginning to see the fully operational Death Star. So you can see they've been trending up. June, it really took off, pulled back a little bit, and now September, we have spiked back up again. Average output per day was 30 or 20. Let's just call this 28,000 items. Here's the Prism Basketball gem rate over the months. April, May, June, July, August, September. You can see dip down a little bit and has been steadily increasing. This right here, anti-PSA people are feasting on this. Slapping a 10 on everything. 10, 10, 10, 10, throw 9 and 9. So, you know, it is what it is. This just talks about the different gem rates going up, which we've kind of already discussed. He's going to do a deeper dive on this. So gem rates by, PSA items graded by era. Once again, not surprising. 2010 and newer dominate the field with 60 to 70%. Here's the interesting one. For all the people that say, you know, like there's all this in the backlog, there's all that in the backlog. For one, the people that, like, you know, I talked about this before. The doom and gloom of the PSA backlog is completely overrated to a degree. I think the base card market is one thing. If you're talking about silvers, hollows, etc., it's a little bit different. And it also depends what years you're talking about. Because pre-2018, pop counts are still pretty low. But the other thing that you have to factor in, one, a lot of that's like when someone in one of the comments the other day said something about the massive PSA backlogs coming. The PSA backlog is already here. Look at this. Look at how many cards they've graded the last 4 months. Since they shut down, look at June, July, and August. The backlog is already hitting the market. It is already here, guys and girls. It is already here. They are pumping them out. They are hitting eBay, and they are moving one way or the other. Is there still more stuff coming? Yes. But the other thing you have to keep in mind, one, every day the backlog gets a little bit smaller, and two, it's not all whatever the sport is that you're in. You know, here's the data for September, and I think you could probably blow this out in most months, and I bet you within 3 to 5% either way, it's probably the same. Basketball was 33% of the graded cards for just under 300,000. Baseball, 25%. Pokemon, 22%. A lot of people sleep on exactly how much of that backlog is not sports cards. 22% of the backlog, Pokemon. 11% football. Football always the lowest of the majors. Then we have soccer, hockey, and then, you get into the, little odds and ends of stuff. And here's the percentage change by month. Actually, baseball's way up. So, things to factor in when you're talking about the evil backlog that's coming. Just scrolling down here. Here's the individual sets and their growth versus the previous month. Prism, once again, not surprising. Chronicles with a huge rise up. Mosaic, once again, not surprising. Pokemon, Topps Chrome. I see a ton of Topps. You go look at Lubob PSA 10s of base. Whew, there's a ton of those things. Optic basketball. But once again, you got to come all the way down here. What is that? 9th to 18 Prism. So when you're talking about Luka and Trey stuff, I continue to stand by. Most of the Luka and Trey stuff, the good stuff, is graded. Unless it's people just ripping the wax now. Most graded players, Jordan, LeBron, not surprising. Jordan and LeBron are always going to be at the top of this list because they have so many different inserts and stuff. Jordan's been on the rise. There was talk about, I remember a couple months ago when I did this, there was a Jordan promotion at PSA. So that could be part of the reason why he's so high. But Jordan and LeBron just have so many cards out there. It's natural that they're up towards the top. So, you know. It's interesting seeing Lubob. I want to go back to that previous point. Go look at 2020 Lubob base tops and base chrome. I'm not surprised to see him on this list, given how much of it that I see. Once again, Luka fairly high, but not like insanely high. And once again, Luka's a guy that, you know, a lot of people pull Luka. It's going to get sent in. Most graded cards. So, you know, that's pretty much, you know, I don't want to sit here and deep dive into all these different numbers. I just want to kind of keep this a little high level. So some general thoughts on this. And this is why I keep going back to, I tend to be optimistic in regards to them eventually getting back to cheaper price points. Because here's the thing. They basically have let's say they have the ability right now, and this is, who's to say this doesn't go higher? They have the ability to crank out 800,000 cards a month. Okay? What happens when they actually get caught up? Do you think all of a sudden they are not going to want to grade 800,000 cards a month if you've built up, trained the people, and have the capacity to do that? And once again, that's assuming this doesn't go higher. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit 1 million cards a month at some point in time, because I believe they are still hiring. I could be wrong on that, but I would have to double check. I thought, at least at the National anyways, and I thought at the last convention, they were still looking for graders. So I think it's very reasonable they can hit 1 million cards a month. Do you think once they get caught up and they are fully operational, fully caught up, that all of a sudden they're going to be like, you know what? Let's just go back to grading, you know, 100,000 cards a month, whatever it is, 500,000 cards a month. No, they're going to want to, in my opinion, PSA is going to want to grade every card that they could possibly grade, because it continues to cement their place in the marketplace, and will also hurt their competition. Because if they have a cheap sub open, I can tell you right now, a lot of the business going to the small grading companies will suddenly stop. Will they close? No, but it is going to take a lot of business. In my opinion, right now, there are too many grading companies. And there's no way they all survive. There's no way they all survive. And I'm mostly talking about the smaller ones. You know, I'm not going to name any names specifically, but a lot of the smaller ones, I would be sweating bullets once PSA becomes fully operational. Yeah, maybe you could carve out, maybe you don't get too big for your britches and you carve out a nice little niche. And, you know, you're doing your thing and you don't try to get too crazy. Stay in your lane, slowly build up. You know, maybe that's an angle. But in general, for like the main graders, it's going to be PSA. SGC is established now. BGS is going to be around based off name value, and I think CSG is going to continue to grow. I don't know comp-wise if they're going to grow, but they will continue to gain market share as well. Maybe not market share, but brand recognition, because they're going to keep getting tied into the Fnatic stuff. There's too many dots there to connect for people not to make that assumption that eventually something's going to happen there. So once PSA gets caught up, I don't see how they don't have a cheap option available, because they don't want cards going to SGC. They don't want cards going to BGS. They don't want them going to CSG. They want them going to PSA once they're caught up. So I'm standing by the fact we're at 150. We're at 300 Super Express, 150 Express. I think they come out $75 regular service, and I think it's sooner rather than later. I think maybe by the end of this month. I predicted October before. That was right before they announced the price decrease. I think we see a $75 regular service return sooner rather than later. I think they let that play out for most of the rest of the year. See how it goes. Continue cranking on the backlog. If regular's at $75, like I think it's going to be, economy comes back at, let's say, 35 to 40 bucks, give or take. Now, I don't know what turnaround times are going to be on this stuff. And then if that comes back at that level, once they're fully caught up, I do think we see bulk come back sub $20. I don't think it's going to be 10 or 12 bucks again. Maybe it's 20 right on the nose. Maybe it's 15. I don't know. Maybe it's 15 with a 1-year turnaround time. Who knows? But I do think, Nat's spoken on this before. I don't think they want to price out the people that just want to build PSA set registry stuff. And to do that, you need to have a cheaper price in place. And maybe it comes down to, we have bulk pricing available at $15 a card, but it has to be a card pre-2000, 2010. Anything pre-2010, you could grade at a 9-month turnaround time at $12 a card. Because they know they won't get overloaded then with a bunch of just random bulk modern subs. Every rookie in the sun won't come into them. So maybe that's how they control it. You could grade on a cheaper price tier, but you can't send in first Bowman Chrome prospects every card that you pull out of a pack from 2021 Bowman Chrome. The other thing is could they potentially roll out some type of capped submission thing? I don't know. So those are my general thoughts. We'll see what ends up happening. It's a prediction game. It's fun to speculate. We shall see. And like I said, this information, half the community is going to take it one direction. Half the community is going to take it a different direction. It is what it is. It's the day and age that we live in. So like, comment, subscribe. Tomorrow's video, I'm going to do something a little different for the Sunday morning video. Since we're kind of at the beginning of the month, I'll talk about that later in that video. So see you guys Sunday morning. Like, comment, sub. Peace.